Hello everyone. This is a new series. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. We have population wars here. So there are three teams. Top 5 most populous countries versus the next 15, so 6 through 20, versus the rest of the world. Is this fair? Maybe? I don't know. The top 5 has both the US and China, which is very good. Meanwhile, the next 15 has like Russia, Brazil, and then a bunch of like very solid countries. They have Japan, Vietnam, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, all pretty powerful, but not like world powers, more regional. Except maybe Brazil and Russia, obviously. And Germany's regional, so that's great. Mexico dominates Spanish-speaking America. And then the red team dominates Africa. And the pink team has everything else, which also has some very powerful nations. Notably many in Western Europe, such as the UK, France, Italy, as well as some nations down here. Saudi Arabia is pretty powerful. Myanmar, the Koreas, and down in southern Africa, in like South Africa. And I guess Australia, but not really, and Canada. So every team has their fair share of powers. The blue team and red team, the pink team is mainly like small regional powers, except in Europe. The red team is basically all regional powers. I'd be convinced to say all these countries except maybe Bangladesh is a regional power, except Russia, which is obviously a world power. And then the blue team is basically the two strongest countries in the world, 1 and 3 maybe, as well as India, Pakistan, and Indonesia, which are powerful. So, yeah, let's just get this started. For now, there will be no alliances, as if there is an alliance, it would turn into a two-person war very quickly. So we'll start with a few things we have to get straight. Southeast Asia's fucked, okay? I don't like cursing, and I don't think I can curse in the video, but Southeast Asia is fucked. They are surrounded by the blue team and the red. They are surrounded by the blue team on all sides. Yeah. So the first thing anything does, is invade Papua New Guinea, which they take. Great. Now that island is under their control, they no longer have a land border with the pink team, so they should be fine. That's not true. They do here, but they actually just take it. Great. Now that they've gotten rid of their land borders, they could so Indian and Chinese forces, these will probably see the most success as they're connected. Like American, by the way, all this is happening at the same time. I just can't cover it. So I'm going to cover this Southeast Asia thing, and then I'm going to go to Africa, then the Americas, Europe. It's all happening at the same time. By the way, when it comes to countries supplying each other, obviously a land border will be best. However, the blue team is able to get materials from the US down to like India and then to China. However, it's much harder because India, with the capturing of Sri Lanka, now has naval dominance over this whole area, meaning the US could easily just ship something. The red team is a bit harder. The pink team basically, like the red team could do that, but that's about as far as it could go. Germany's kind of trapped in, so is Russia. I guess Russia and Japan could supply each other. However, this is why control of Taiwan is so important. If the red team can control Taiwan, Japan will be able to help out Southeast Asia. So the pink team sends a bunch of like Australian forces around into Taiwan, causing this area to basically fall to the blue team. However, this comes at the cost of them being able to hold Taiwan, which is very crucial as it makes the red team forces in Southeast Asia trapped. Okay. By the way, Indonesia can also supply India and vice versa. So we start with our blue team invasion of Malaysia. which actually goes successfully. They land with help from the Indian Navy. They are able to land in the with the help of the Indian Navy, they're able to land in Malaysia, capture Kuala Lumpur, causing the country to surrender. After the fall of Malaysia, Indian and Chinese forces launch a combined invasion into Bangladesh, which, despite it being a very populous nation and I'd imagine pretty powerful, it's flat, therefore it's really easy to take over. There are a lot of rivers which they can hide behind. However, not many of these rivers, you only really have to cross like one river to get to Dhaka, which is the capital, obviously, and that falls. A powerful country, however, it's nothing compared to the combined invasion of it's nothing compared to the Chinese-Indian combined force of most likely 100 million men, probably more once they conscript, as scary to think, but 1 billion men between them. Not really, but whatever. The Red Team forces also managed to connect Vietnam and Thailand by pushing into Cambodia and Laos, as well as Blue Team and Red Team forces temporarily agreeing to partition Myanmar, which immediately goes bad as the Blue Team kind of just keeps pushing and eventually takes the whole country. The Pink and Red Team combined launch an invasion into Manchuria, which goes fine. However, they are stopped at Beijing. And the Blue Team now, with control on all sides, actually, first of all, they land in the Philippines, they capture the South, Muslims kind of like revolt. This leads a naval base, and eventually a brutal island hopping campaign happens until they capture Manila. Great. So now with the Red Team completely surrounded in Southeast Asia, a four-pronged invasion happens. One invasion force from Indonesia in the south, China in the north, India in Thailand, and then a naval invasion there's no naval invasion from the Philippines. It's false. I'm gonna spare the details. It doesn't stand a chance. And, just like that, right before, there's also, Pink Team forces are pushing into this area of China, and even into parts of Tibet, threatening the border with India. Actually, just all of this part of China. But the only reason they're so successful is because most of their army is focused in the Southeast Asia. Iran captured Pakistan, but that's expected. And the Red Team divides up this area, the Caucasus region. That makes sense though. It's not really much they can do. And just like that, Asia both got much simpler and much more complicated. Forces from the Pink Team are hoping to meet up with the, with the Blue Team forces in Beijing in hopes of getting there before Blue Team forces can arrive in, are able to arrive in Beijing and the rest of China. So Pink Team forces start a push, and they actually put the city under siege. Not under siege, but they are able to, a combined Pink and Red Team force actually managed to, put the city under siege. So, or not under siege, but close. Pink Team is here, and here, and the Red Team's here, and then the Blue Team controls all this area. Great, so, how do I want to do this? Battle of Beijing, first major battle of the war. We have Pink Team forces quickly making a push into here in hopes of cutting off supply lines, which goes pretty well, as well as a red invasion into this peninsula, which also goes well. From there, forces are looking to cut Beijing off, and hopefully with the cutting off of Beijing, they will be able to stop the supplies of the troops. Beijing will fall, causing the rest of the causing the rest of the country to fall. However, the push is stopped. The pink team ends up being a much more successful team, by the way, which ends up with the red team eventually actually losing, as the army there is much better. However, the pink team is this close to reaching the ocean when they are stopped at the city of Qingdao. I'm just looking at a map. The city of Qingdao. The Battle of which is a city which apparently has 6 million people. I've never heard of it. Battle of Qingdao. Perfect. Pink team forces. The blue team does have the front line with that. However, they are technically under siege. Not great. However, reinforcements are arriving, and in a move that surprised no one, the blue team reinforcements, which came from Southeast Asia, have arrived. They have managed to cut off the pink team forces. Eventually, these forces are actually surrendered. However, in a crucial move, the blue team, not wanting to give too much power to the red team, lets these forces actually flee. They let them go back to, like, Central Asia and back in Russia and even Europe. They really send them anywhere they want. This angers the red team and makes the pink team happy, so they both launch a combined assault into Manchuria, which the blue team takes back Beijing. However, the pink team gets that. That's not what happens. The blue team... Just know the blue team won. The blue team won. Yeah, good job, blue team. They just won the Battle of Beijing, Qingdao. With that, much of this Central Asian and Mongolian force is now trapped and not good. So, yeah, their invasion of China in hopes of quickly undermining the blue team ended up not going well, as they were not fast enough. They were faster, it probably would have worked. And, I may or may not have a bias, but whatever. And that's where I'm gonna end this video with the first major war. Did anything really happen? No. Do I care? No. Okay, part 2.